Hey there, Brian Kelly here, founder of 9D Breathwork. In this very short presentation, I'm going to walk you through and really show you how burnout in the workplace isn't just killing morale, it's absolutely crushing your bottom line, whether you realize it or not. And I can say this because at this point, we've worked with literally thousands of people all over the world, executives, teams, entrepreneurs, and the same thing keeps showing up. You've got patterns of chronic stress, anxiety, overwhelm, burnout, disconnection. But here's the thing, and what we've learned is most companies are spending a lot of money on all these wellness programs that are treating only the symptoms. And so what we do at 9D is we get straight down to the root. So what you're going to walk away with today is a very clear picture of how stress is silently draining performance in the workplace. But more importantly than that, what actually works to break this cycle. And then we're going to give you an opportunity to experience it for yourself. So this becomes less theory, more practical, something that you can actually feel. And so the reality is most workplaces today are pressure cooker environments. These stats speak for themselves. You've got 85% of workers reporting some level of burnout or exhaustion. You've got 12 billion work days lost every single year due to stress and anxiety. That's a $1 trillion problem. And this is the real issue. And what's at the root is that only 13% say that they're safe or feel safe talking about it. And this might not seem like a big deal, but the reality is that it's massive. It affects not just performance and productivity, but retention and churn and all these things, because ultimately emotional suppression drives a company's culture, whether we realize it or not. So what's the impact then of our programs? Well, essentially what we do at 9D is we help teams to reset, not just at the mental level, which is a part of it, but at the nervous system level. And we do it fast. And so that means more focus, less overwhelm, and this noticeable shift that you'll see in how people show up to work every day. And the downstream effects of a regulated nervous system are massive. This is just a short list of what you can see, some of these things, these outcomes here on the screen now. As you can see here, this isn't our first rodeo. We've been facilitating this work all around the world with over 20,000 clients served. We've got over 1,000 certified facilitators all around the world in 80 countries, I believe, and counting. And so, let's just say that we know what we're doing in this space. Before I go any further, let's make this interactive. I just want to invite you to close your eyes and take a nice, long, deep breath in through your nose and slow and exaggerate it out through your mouth. And you should be able to feel that just one breath is enough to really start to quiet and calm down the mind. And it's interesting to think about because we all breathe. We do it every day, 25,000 breaths per day for the average person. But so few of us have been trained how to actually breathe properly. And we're here at 9D to change that. So why does breathwork belong in your strategy? Well, most people in the workplace, what we found, they get stuck in this hypervigilant survival mode. And so breathwork essentially gets them out of this chronic fight or flight and back into a state of kind of calm presence. It's very hard to get quality work done when our bodies are hardwired for chronic stress. And so once the nervous system is regulated, everything else just has a funny way of working way better. And so supporting mental health isn't just the right thing to do. It's actually, as you can see here, the smart business thing to do. The reality is that companies that invest in well-being see a much higher retention, they see more engagement, and they see better results across the board. And the numbers back this up. As you can see here, $4 return for every dollar investment. Pretty sure that you'd agree it's a pretty solid ROI. And as you can see here, this is far from hyperbole. All of what I've been showing is all science-backed. You can look into some of these research projects for yourself. A considerable amount of research and study has been done to show the improvements for people in the workplace and just people in general on heart health, heart rate variability, reduction in cortisol, which is the stress hormone, better cognitive function, clearer thinking. So what we're offering here is a very evidence-backed approach to extremely effective stress regulation. So let's talk about what is 9D. And 9D essentially, in a nutshell, is a very immersive multisensory experience. It's not just simple breathing practices, which are powerful, but they're a dime a dozen these days. But what we do is we combine elements of the breath with sound, different elements of subconscious mind reprogramming, all layered into this audio technology that creates very fast, very deep shifts. Everything inside of these experiences is designed to activate the nervous system's natural healing response to be able to, get it back into its into its proper working function. So we like to see ourselves as kind of the disruptor in the space, in the wellness space. The experiences that we've created, they ultimately speak for themselves. They can be done anywhere, from at work, at home. They can be done on the go. Some of them, all you need is a pair of headphones and your breath. And so our mission with what we're doing here is very simple. We aim to make the most powerful breathwork journeys in the world and available to as many people as possible. So this isn't just a practice for us. It really is a revolution in how we approach mental and emotional health. And I think that you'll understand more when you get to experience it for yourself. As I mentioned before, 9D combines 9 different elements, hence 9D. You've got breathwork, you got subliminal messaging, you got binaural beats, 432 hertz tuning, hypnotic therapy and hypnotic suggestion, somatic experiencing, guided neurolinguistic programming, different sound effects, all to this very powerful cinematic emotional arc. And this is a big part of what makes 9D different. Here's a few examples of what people experience or they report experiencing on the other side of these sessions. Of course, you got reduced stress and anxiety, improved clarity and emotional regulation, more energy, more focus. I think one of the biggest benefits for the workplace, though, is this stronger ability to reset and think during moments of high stress or high pressure. Massive as far as being a really effective, capable organization. You need that. And so on a team level, you've got more cohesion, you've got better communication, less reactivity. When people feel regulated, the reality is they just engage differently with themselves and with each other. This one's, I think, very simple. I imagine you'll agree your people are your greatest asset. And so when you give them real tools to support their mental and their emotional well-being, they show up stronger. They show up more present, more capable. Here's just a few examples of what people say after these sessions. I walked away feeling lighter, clearer, more myself. We hear these kind of things all the time. People don't realize how much they're carrying until they get a chance to let it go, is what we found. Here's another one. Very often, we hear after these experiences, these are the most powerful, experiences that people have ever had in their whole lives. And trust me, I get it. If you've never done breath work before, feedback like this might sound like a bit of a stretch, but honestly, this is the kind of message our community receives pretty much every day across our facilitators. And so 9D isn't something that you can explain so much with words. It really has to be felt. And so that's what's going to come next. We're going to get you into a session so you can experience it for yourself.